Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina...
That took long enough. Now that at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective. As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel. When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that the sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linney red-handed. So Linney proceeded afterward. Linney passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stand. And there you have it. That's...
Does the defendant's side have any
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Linney experienced, and what he saw. According to Linney, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey. Seems this won't Linney went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth. Linney did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to... When the countdown started, Linney did indeed go into... But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his... Paimon did it!
In other words, you believe that...
That's right!
My reasoning?
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linney only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would...
Oh.
That's right, you... Well, you're... you're saying that he wasn't.
Are you sure we don't need to give this more thought? Are you sure we don't need to give this more That's right! Lenny, this meat, the same
To think you'd use such luck. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she have her own scheme all along? The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility? Halsey is the missing person. The deceased's name is Cowell.
That can't be right. The killer was, in fact, Cowell, the deceased!
Oh, is that so?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to... No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been some fear that she would attract attention. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would... The deceased's name is Cowell. The deceased's name is Cowell. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. So where would... The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Hal... Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which... Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must... The sound we heard may have come from a clash between... Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. No one entered or left the Opera House through its entrances. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. No one entered or left the The sound we heard may have come from a clap. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel.